Big business has enjoyed a bonanza under New Labour. British high street banks made £37,000 million profit last year, 3 times more than when New Labour took office. BP and Shell profits have soared to £23,000 million. Profits at the Arms Corporation, BAE Systems, are now running at £1,000 million thanks to dodgy deals with the corrupt dictatorship of Saudi Arabia. No wonder the super rich are celebrating. Britain is still one of the wealthiest countries on the planet. The British capitalist class own more assets around the world than anyone else except the Americans. And yet we're told we can't afford higher wages and social benefits, decent pensions, more social and council housing, a more extensive public transport system, or a clean and safe environment. At the same time, big business is making a fortune out of our public services. In fact, as taxpayers, we're paying the big corporations billions of pounds every year to privatise what's left of our public sector.
Because of budget deficits and the private finance initiative, we're losing hospital beds and services. As private contractors cut jobs and wages and spread infection, we pay banks, construction and drug companies billions to bleed our National Health Service dry. Of course, money can always be found for a new generation of nuclear weapons and to fight wars for the interests of British and American big business.
Oh, there's no working on the boys will be in London soon. Tree Herbert and Treorchy, Tonapandi and Tinnewydd, Aston Rhondda, Ton Pentre all adieu. For we can no longer wait while Parliament debates. So a sad farewell.
The Communist Party knows why we don't use Britain's massive wealth to benefit the working people and their families who create it. It's because 3/4 of all the wealth in Britain is owned by just 1/10 of the population, none of whom lives here, or here, or here.
That's why the Communist Party continues to campaign for a Welsh Parliament with real economic and financial power, not a feeble assembly which begs and bribes multinational companies to come here and exploit us before clearing off to Eastern Europe or China. Only the communists in Wales said that the hundreds of millions of pounds wasted on LG would have been better spent creating thousands of permanent jobs in the public, cooperative and small business sectors across Wales.
It is the Communist Party alone that urges and helps organise people to fight for social justice and peace. It is the Communist Party alone that demands a wealth tax on the super rich to pay for higher pensions and benefits. It is the Communist Party alone that wants to take public utilities, railways and banks into public ownership for the benefit of all our people.
New Labour, the Liberals and the Tories all grovel to big business. Plaid Cymru would walk away from Britain's wealth instead of demanding that working people share in it, while the BNP fascists want a race war against our small black and immigrant communities in Wales, people who make such a valuable contribution to our economy and culture. By voting Communist on May the 3rd, you'd be sending the clearest possible message to Britain's powerful and wealthy elite that you want public services, not privatisation, peace, not imperialist war, social justice, not super profits for big business, and that we, the people of Wales, want real power to determine the future of our own country.
For more information about the Communist Party in Wales, phone 07715 554440 or go to www.welshcommunist.org or write to the Communist Party, PO Box 69, Pontypridd, CF37 9AB.
Now a party election broadcast by the Welsh Communist Party.
Sir Anthony Eden has been pretending that he's now invading Egypt in order to strengthen the United Nations. Every burglar, of course, could say the same thing. He could argue that he's entering the house in order to train the police. So if Sir Anthony Eden is sincere in what he's saying, and he may be, He may be. Then, if he is sincere in what he's saying, he's too stupid to be a Prime Minister.
Aneurin Bevan opposed the invasion of Egypt in 1956. He knew then, decades before the disasters in Iraq and Afghanistan, that Britain had to cease being an imperial power. His priorities were peace and creating a civilised, caring, more equal society.
Together with Llanelli MP Jim Griffiths, he was the founder of our welfare state, with its pensions, benefits and health care for all who needed them.
Why did the post-war Labour government undertake such a bold, expensive programme of reforms at a time when Britain was almost bankrupt?
Because big business, the so-called free market, capitalism, had failed ordinary people. Millions lived in poverty, whether low-paid, unemployed, sick or retired. They had to rely on private insurance, well-meaning volunteers or charity.
The rich, on the other hand, those who had made a fortune out of people's labour and the earth's resources, had the best treatment money could buy.
David Cameron's Big Business Society aims to bring back those bad old days.
Public and social services are being scrapped. Large parts of the welfare state, the real, original big society, are being dismantled or privatised. And this is being done when Britain is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. While the Condem cabinet, with its 22 millionaires, is carrying out £203 billion worth of cuts over the next 4 years, the richest 10% of the population in Britain own £4,000 billion in personal wealth between them.
Many stash their cash in British overseas tax havens, switching it between bogus companies to avoid paying their fair share.
The Communist Party says you, can challenge this illegitimate government that nobody voted for.
We need community campaigns and, if needs be, industrial action to save our public services.
Tax the super rich and big business instead of destroying the welfare state. Use the new powers of our National Assembly to reverse privatisation.
Plan education, the environment, transport and economic development in the interests of the Welsh people and for future generations.
Of course the National Assembly should have financial powers, just as community councils do.
You have a second regional vote on Thursday, May the 5th.
Join millions of people in France, Portugal, Greece, the Czech Republic, Russia, Cyprus, India, Brazil, South Africa. Vote for candidates who represent workers and their families, not the millionaires.
Vote Communist.
For further information about the Communist Party's election policies, visit www.welshcommunists.org.
That was a party election broadcast by the Welsh Communist Party for the election to the National Assembly for Wales on Thursday, 5th of May 2011.
We're emerging from a deadly pandemic and we must learn the lessons. The first is how much we all rely on our workers, on those who staff the NHS and our other public services, who care for the elderly, who manufacture and transport and sell our food, who keep our water, gas and electricity running. The Communist Party has always said that it's the workers who create the wealth in our society, not the bankers, the speculators, the big landowners and the capitalist shareholders.
The second lesson is that the Welsh Parliament must have the economic and financial powers that can challenge capitalist market forces and make a real difference. As a result of Brexit, the Senedd will have 70 extra policy-making powers, but we will have to fight the Tory government in order to bring all these powers to Wales in full. That's what communists in the Senedd will fight for, instead of trying to rerun the battle of Brexit and hand those powers back to Brussels and the European Union.
We need the powers to plan our economy, to build more social and council housing and solve the second home crisis in many of our local communities, to connect up our transport systems, create sustainable jobs, invest in our public services, strengthens people's rights at work and provide a better social safety net for all who need it. We want to pay a social wage and provide a pension to our fellow citizens who don't have a paid job because they care for very young children, elderly relatives, disabled people or the long-term sick. A civilised society needs its carers and they deserve the support of us all.
Welsh Communists will also fight to take back the industrial powers stolen from Wales by the Tory government's Internal Market Act. We cannot allow what's left of the steel industry to limp along to oblivion, its fate sealed by decisions taken in company boardrooms far beyond our country. Steel should be renationalised, but this time with a real say for government, local communities, trade unions and others with a major stake in the industry.
The third lesson is that we have to change who owns and controls our society. For the second time in 13 years, hundreds of billions of pounds of public money is being used to bail out big business. That's money needed to invest in the NHS and other vital public services. We spend billions keeping the big arms corporations afloat, but we didn't have the capacity to make the medical equipment needed when the coronavirus struck. The Welsh Government, local authorities, the NHS and private care homes had to order it from China, Vietnam and other countries. But that's capitalism for you. Unless something important for society makes a profit for big business, it doesn't get produced. That's why public money had to be pumped into the research, development and production of our COVID vaccines.
If we, the public, are paying for something, we, the public, should own it. That's why a vote for the Communist Party is a vote for socialism, for public ownership of the banks and strategic industries. If you share our socialist values, vote for them on May the 6th. And remember, if Labour or Plaid Cymru are strong in your region, they are unlikely to win regional list seats. So don't waste your second vote. Vote Communist for real power for the people of Wales in a federal Britain. For a free copy of the Communist Party's election manifesto, Real Power for the People of Wales, email office@welshcommunist.org or phone 07790 884 137.